Wait, is that the screen? Is it on? Oh, okay. I didn't know you're testing or not. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Jess. I'm here at the studio in my office. I just had a bag of chips. I've got my coffee. To entertain myself, I'm going to be building some Legos, but go ahead, unleash questions. I've got my girlfriend here. I've got my emotional support, Jenny. They already have some questions going. And then Richard's here.
No, not.
Oh, Richard's leaving. Okay. Bye.
The first question is for UDR1C. He wants to know what your first job was.
My first job, technically, my first job was an under the table gig I did with my mom. She owned her own business, and I was like 10, I think. And I was like, Mom, I want to go to work with you. She's like, no. And I was like, no, come on, I'll work. Dirt cheap. $10 a day. Oh my God. I worked 6 days a week, every day that summer, and I think I walked away with $1,000. Absolute ripoff. But my actual first legal job when I was 15 and a half, which I don't know how it is in other states, but in California, that's when you can get your worker's permit. It was at a tutoring center. A lot of my Asian friends might know this name, Kumon Learning Center. That's where I worked. Terrible job. And then my second job, which was detailing, kind of stuck. So we can brush up on that in a little bit.
Okay, Lauren Schultz wants to know what your favorite or go-to form of self-care is.
I do this thing where I call it like, my girlfriend would be like, oh, she's just having her Jessica day. And I literally just shirk everything off. I ignore everything, phones off. Everyone's left on red, and I'll just knock out like 5 movies in one day. Not even new movies, sometimes old movies, but I just don't want to, I just head empty, no thoughts. So there is absolutely zero brain function for me going on that day. And I don't really want to call it self-care because it's extremely detrimental to my business when I have those days, but it makes me feel better. So it is what it is.
Okay, and then Ollie Blue is asking if you miss being a mobile detailer.
Yes, absolutely. And so much so that I never actually fully gave it up. So I am here at the studio, but maybe a day or 2 out of the week, I'm still out on the field just because it was such a big part of my life. I can't really give it up at the drop of a hat, if that makes sense. And I never actually even fully gave up because when I moved into the studio, I had a lot of regulars, like Megan and Renee and Missy, and I still see them regularly. I never, ever stopped working on their car.
All right, Carson Petty 24, he wants to know, how do you keep up with your polishing pads? Just buy new ones or constantly clean them?
We're constantly cleaning them. So pads are super expensive. I think they're like, the average pad is $10 to $13, and we have hundreds of them here. So I can't afford to use a new pad every time. I don't have a sponsor for new pads where they're just sending me free pads. So it always starts with a clean pad when you wash your car. Depending on how many passes you do, we blow it out, brush it out. When the pad is hit its life form for that car, it's not its life form of the pad. Just with the amount of friction, the amount of heat that it's going, it kind of starts swelling and it becomes useless. So then we're done with that pad for that car, move on to the next panel of the car with the new pad. But at the end of polishing a car, we'll have a stack of like anywhere from 5 to 15 pads, depending on what we're doing. Those get cleaned and then they get put back in the cabinet, and then we use those again for the next time. Unless it's like a really finicky black paint, we'll open a brand new pad. But we use the same pad over and over again.
Okay, D. Chris wants to know, what do you recommend for someone trying to find their purpose and or career choice?
Purpose and career choice. I stumbled into this. This was my first job, one of my first jobs. It stuck. It took. I left it a couple times. I kept finding myself coming back to it. So I wish I had like a concrete answer, but what works for me is if you find your job, which this is a term my girlfriend taught me, she's in grad school, to be a marriage and family therapist, but it's called a flow activity. And that's when you're doing something that is engaging you perfectly. You feel stimulated, you feel happy, you feel comfortable, but yet you feel challenged. And when you're in your flow activity, time is just flying. So, you know, when I'm cleaning, I'm in my flow activity. Like if you gave me something to clean, 5 hours would pass in the blink of a time, or in the blink of a second. And that's kind of how I kind of stumbled into my career. But find something that engages you, challenges you, but is comfortable enough for you that you could do it for the rest of your life. And I don't know how to find it. I literally fell into mine. Like it was just pure accident, but that'd be my best advice. I don't know, just fuck around. You'll find something. I think you should. There's a lot of stuff going on in this world. Has anyone done Legos? I'm so confused by this.
I need
Brad here. Where's Brad?
It's so you just start with the first step. You gotta go to step
Can
number
you,
one.
can you
There's
show everyone what you're building?
500 fucking bags. I'm trying
You
to
have
build,
to empty out all the bags, and then
but I can't because they're all numbered.
okay, just build bag by bag.
Okay, look,
Show everyone what you're building.
we're building a Fiat 500.
Yes, so you have to build bag by bag then, and then use the corresponding directions for each bag. 'Cause you're right, it'll be too confusing. So build the bag you already have on the table.
I understand, but when I have the number 1, I see also number 2 and number 3 next to it.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
those are just I don't know that. I haven't built something like that.
This, I collect Legos. I've never actually built them. I just collect Lego cars, only Lego cars. But this is so stressful. Oh, Brad's calling me.
Okay.
This so wait, Brad, are you watching? Hello? Are you watching the Legos?
Are you watching the
Okay. Yeah.
Not even me.
Do you build it bag by bag?
Ran to the rescue.
Yeah, all the bags have numbers, but then okay, number 1 has pictures of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, you haven't made a Lego in 5 years. I saw a Lego at your house at Christmas like 2 years ago. Or maybe, okay, I think maybe they're saying it because the instruction is like step 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna build back number 1. I'm gonna build back. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, bye.
Okay,
Brad's
while you're-
watching.
That's nice. While you're figuring it out, I'm gonna ask a question that ties into what you were just saying. So Kia and Anna Danielle asks, how and when did you first start mobile detailing? So go into the story.
Did you say Kia, Anna, Danielle? Kiana?
Kiana? Stop, that's why I don't want to read. You don't have to point it out.
Okay, Kiana Danielle said.
How and when did you first start mobile detailing?
Okay, I was 16.
That was Jenny.
I was 16. Jenny and I were on the same basketball team, and we had this basketball coach. His name was Dean, and he was a mobile detailer, and he offered it to all the girls on the team. Hey, if you want to make $20 this weekend, come help me with the car. And so we all had our rounds. I think Haley did it once. Jenny did it maybe 5 times. Michelle did it a lot. Jada did a lot. It stuck for me. Like it just scratched an itch. I think because I really enjoyed cleaning even though I had no idea what was going on with cars. And then on top of that, like I was super money hungry. So I was just happy to walk away with like $40 after a weekend, so that Jenny and I could go get lunch during the week. But 1 year turned into like a full-time summer thing, turned into me going up to college and then calling him up on and saying, hey, I want to come home on the weekends when I went away for college. Like, do you have jobs for me? And then when I dropped out of college for a little stint, I was working with him full-time again. And then I was like, no, I need to go back to college. Then I was like part-time with him again. And then he retired and then I took over. And then, it was high school basketball coach, great guy. He was like my mentor for life and for detailing. So he's like I said, I stumbled into it. It was literally just, who wants $20? Me, I do. And then so I went to work with him, loved it, and then just kept going from there.
All right. Rivas_S wants to know all about your tattoos.
Well, there are some meaningful ones. I have one on my my upper thigh here. I don't know if you guys seen it in my TikToks with like my shorts right up. That's my Honda Accord. It sits right there. And then underneath it on my knee, I have y'all because I went to Texas and I had the time of my life. And then on top of the Honda, there's like a Thai saying, which I'm just gonna let you guys know. There's a little Thai script there. I'm not Thai, but if you see it, if you're Thai, you see it in the video, just shh. Okay, it's a very funny phrase. And then these two arms were done. This one was done by Brian. This one was done by Billy. I went to Brian and I said I wanted a skeleton mermaid. So it starts here. It wraps around. Her tail wraps around the inside. And then actually it flips here and it starts going upwards. So this is a transition piece here, which is actually a fishing scene of Christina Yang and Derek Shepherd. And then it opens up into Yosemite. Yosemite is one of my favorite places to go. I'm going in March with my friends to go camping. And then this arm, we've got a skeleton cowboy to match the skeleton mermaid, some cactus, a longhorn skull, a jackrabbit, a low ball whiskey glass with like a rattlesnake in it. This whole arm, by the way, I went to Billy and I said, hey, sleeve it out, make it Yeehaw themed, black and gray, no birds, no flowers. And Billy chose all of this. I just came in, I said, what are we doing today? He goes, are you cool with a longhorn? I was like, yeah. And he was, are you cool with a jackrabbit? I said, I don't know what that is, but sure. So this whole arm, I can't take credit for. This was Billy's entire idea. But that's. Oh, and then I have like a thing here.
How about
Of
the one
like-
on the side? Your first one.
Oh, my first tattoo. I don't want to show you. And my first tattoo it's on this side. It's the Friends logo. And then I also have like an under boob thing of like another longhorn skull, and the horns go across this way, and then there's like a snake that's like woven through it. So that's what I have.
And which one is your favorite tattoo?
My favorite. I think it's this longhorn.
How about the one on your foot?
Okay, fuck off, Jenny. We're not talking about the foot one. There's a lot of tattoos that I got where I was like, oh, I'm just gonna get it, and I'll still do it. Like if we went on a bachelorette trip and our fixation that weekend, because everyone in the group was like mentally ill, but we were fixated on Julia Fox in that interview. So Andrew, my friend Andrew and I, we kept saying the way Julia Fox said uncut gems in that interview, but it just progressively got worse and worse and worse during the trip. So like Uncle Gems turned into like Uncle Doms. And then now I have an Uncle Dom tattoo on my leg. So I don't really have an attachment to what happens on here.
Okay, so
Okay.
Maria MTZ6 wants to know, how did you get your boys? Dog emoji. So how did you get the dogs?
How did I get the dogs? So when did we get Jack?
2018.
Yeah, no.
Yes. 2018.
We got him like 2 years before Leo, I thought.
Oh yeah, 2017.
Okay, 2017, my girlfriend wanted a dog. I said, fuck no, absolutely not. I was working a lot then. I was like, I don't want a dog. And then so we went to the pound, saw this dog, and then she just said, well, we're getting him. So we got him. And then 2 years later, I thought Jack's the best dog I've ever had in my life. I'm actually going to take a picture of you guys for Instagram. Hang on. Hang on. 2 years later, what was this? Richard, did you just fart? I think this is 2019, like right before the pandemic. And then, so it kind of worked out because we didn't know how problematic this dog was going to be. So I was happy to have I was happy to be home for that. But my girlfriend wanted a second dog because she saw on Instagram this little pathetic pit bull. And we were at my sister's graduation in Colorado, and she saw this Instagram post of him and was like, oh, I want to go see him. I'm like, no, like we're in Colorado. She goes, no, when we get back. We get back from Colorado. I'm not kidding you. Like this was all she was fixated on. We get back from Colorado, maybe the next morning, we went to see the other dog. and we brought Jack to see Leo. They didn't get along. Leo had so many behavioral issues. I thought for sure there's no way I could take this dog on my plate. Sure enough, I went to work that night and she snuck Jack back for a second meeting and got pre-approved to adopt this pit bull. So that I think by the end of the week we had a second dog, and I got a little bit of postpartum when we got him because this dog hated me and like he wouldn't let me touch him, and it was like months, and I hated this dog. And I was like, why did you adopt this dog? He's so problematic. He's got so many behavior issues. Like he won't let me near him. Like he would actively run away from me. And then now he's probably the best dog I've ever had. No shade to my first dog, but I think I can't ever not get a pit bull again. I think pit bulls are the dog for me for the rest of my life. But that's how I got him, against my will. But I'm happy that I have him.
Okay, Mikey Vance wants to know, would you ever get a bald eagle back tattoo?
What am I, Ben Affleck?
That's
No.
Phoenix.
Oh, that's a phoenix. Okay.
Okay, Slim Goody Chi wants to know, what leather conditioner do you recommend?
We here at the shop, we love Wax Shine's Leather Nourish. That one is self-leveling. It's super easy to apply. But honestly, if you go into Car Supplies Warehouse, there's so many good options. Like for a long time, Dr. Beasley's leather cream was my front runner, and it still is. Like if I had to choose based on smell, I would still probably go with Dr. Beasley. If I'd have to choose based on quality, I'd probably still go with Dr. Beasley just by a hair, because Dr. Beasley is not self-leveling. You do have to come back and level it off. But I think the performance is very much the same as the Wax Shine Leather Nourish.
CJD from your live stream wants to know, they're getting a brand new Lexus NX 350H in a few weeks. What type of ceramic coating do you suggest?
The truth about ceramic coatings is there is 4 manufacturers, so all coatings are the same. Give or take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I know some people have marine coating, some people put graphite in their coating, some people blend their coatings to be a little more slick, some people blend their coatings to be a little bit thicker, but it doesn't actually matter. It's like minutia when you go across the board. As long as you prep the car right, the coating will adhere properly. And then from then on, once the coating is laid, whether you want to boost it with something else, like if you don't like that your coating is not super slick, so it's a little more oleophobic, meaning it's like it will shed oil. So basically oils on your fingers, it won't glide as easy because it's oleophobic, which is a good thing, except for when you want to touch your car. If you change your mind and you don't want a coating that is so oleophobic, you could easily just like boost it with anything else. But at the end of the day, ceramics, there's 4 blenders, manufacturers. You're all getting a very similar product as long as you get a reputable brand. So I don't know, like Amazon brands, if you just Googled ceramics, I don't know where they're getting theirs, but I do know that any brand being sold by Jason at Car Supplies Warehouse, it's a reputable brand. It's being trusted. It's being used by hundreds or thousands of certified ceramic installers across the nation. I think I'm missing a piece.
You might be.
This piece right here, I can't find it.
Or you could just build whatever you want. You could just start.
This isn't how it works.
That's
it's
true.
supposed to be a car.
Okay, sorry. Okay, Trenton 1221 wants to know, how do you get water spots off your windows?
Okay, if it's super light water spotting, meaning it hasn't been on there too long, it hasn't really been etched in, you can always go with something acidic. They have water spot removers like sprays. Those typically have a touch of acid in there, and what the acid's going to do is melt away the minerals. Water spots are made by minerals. So if you were to look at, I know here in California we have a lot of calcium, a lot of magnesium, a lot of, I think we have phosphorus in our water, in our tap water. But here in California, there's calcium and magnesium make up the most of the minerals in our water. So when water evaporates, water being H2O, so when the 2 hydrogen and the oxygen evaporate, they leave behind this mineral skeleton, which if you look under a microscope is super jagged, kind of like Legos. and they etch themselves onto your paint or your windows or whatever. As time goes on, it kind of happens like fossils, and it will compact itself in there. So another layer of minerals, another layer of minerals, another layer of minerals, and then suddenly it's etched into your glass, your paint, whatever. So if it's super light and it's not that bad, you can use an acid cleaner. Acid wheel cleaner even works. That's a good hack. Spray it on a towel, wipe it on, neutralize it with soap. Couple passes and you should be good. If it's really, really etched on, you're gonna have to manually remove the minerals. My favorite method is steel wool. I use 4-aught steel wool, as the Canadians say. Here in California, we just call it 4-0 steel wool. Glass cleaner or detail spray, or a drop of Dawn dish soap in like a cup of water, and just polish your glass with 4-0 steel wool. And if it's really, really severe, it's time to get nitty gritty. You have to bust out the polisher, put some compound on there, because compound is an abrasive. So it's an abrasive cream, an abrasive pad, and then plus abrasive friction to get it off. There's a bunch of different methods to get off water spotting, all depending on the severity. But I can guarantee you, just washing it will not get rid of water spots if they're true water spots.
Okay. The Meta Voyage wants to know, would you ever move out of California, and do you have any top goals?
I would only move out of California
If Jenny did.
if I were retired, and I wouldn't even move out of California full time. I would just hopefully this economy allows me to have a second home outside of the state, but I would never fully move out of California. I think there are some amenities here that I'm just not willing to give up. Even if I go to a bigger city, let's say like Denver or New York or Austin, which then it becomes impractical to have like a second property there, because it's like city for city, it's too expensive. But there are certain amenities in California I'm not willing to give up. As much as you want to say the food scene is great in Denver, it's great in Austin, it's great in New York, I will adamantly stand behind the fact that the best Mexican food is in California. And I won't take any arguments on that. Best Mexican food is in California. I refuse to be anywhere else. I think I've got it.
Okay. Eric Garcia wants to know from your live, what polisher do you suggest buying for beginners? And also any suggestions for beginners trying to DIY polish?
A good beginner polisher, depending on your budget, I know Harbor Freight has a DA. DA stands for dual action. I would recommend always start off with a dual action. Do not start off with a rotary if you're a beginner. But Harbor Freight has, I think, a $60 DA polisher. I've tested it. It's whatever. I personally would never use it for a professional business. But if it's like your own car and you're just playing around, yes. Harbor Freight has a good DA. Griot's Garage, they also have affordable polishers. And they almost always have a sale. But what was the second half of that question?
Any suggestions for beginners trying to DIY polish?
Start lightest to heaviest. So don't open with the cutting pad. Start with a polishing pad or a finishing pad, and start with polish rather than starting with a cutting pad and compound. You can get a lot of gloss, a lot of correction with the lightest material, but you want to start with the lightest things first so you don't do too much damage, if that makes sense.
Okay. I'm gonna butcher this name, but K Steedle 34 wants to know what things to look for when searching for a detailer.
Okay. I'm a little biased on this as well, because when I look for a new eyebrow lady, my eyebrow lady just got engaged. She's in New York. If I'm looking for a service of some sort, I always look for kindness and like customer service before the actual job, if that makes sense. Because to me, I don't know. I'm never gonna be like fine. I'm not the kind of person that goes, I want the absolute best, and then the absolute best is like an asshole because it went to his head. So I look for people who I connect with, who are nice, who are kind, And then typically, if you're a nice person, I mean, it's never really failed me. They always provide a great level of work. So if your detailer that you're looking for is kind of shirking you off and is kind of like dismissing your questions, if you ask him like, hey, or her, you know, what exactly does this package entail, and they get standoffish and they don't want to answer because they think they're too good to answer because it's a basic package, like that's a red flag. So, you know, someone who's nice.
Okay.
I swear I'm missing a bag.
Is it right there?
In front, like.
Fuck off, Jen.
Okay, this is an interesting question. Diego Ortiz _1 asks, can you polish matte black tires? If so, how? Maybe that means put shine on them?
Maybe rims?
Okay, maybe
Matte black
rims.
rims. Matte black rims you can polish. I wouldn't go in with compound. I wouldn't go in with a machine. I just go in with hand, like a really top coat layer, kind of get rid of whatever chalkiness or oxidation. And then my favorite at the moment, I've been really digging Clutch from Shine Supply. It's a ceramic infused sealant kind of thing. And it's like you spray on, you let it sit, and you let it absorb, and then you wipe it off. And if you want to get Shine Supply's Clutch, Car Supplies Warehouse, they sell it there, or Shine Supply. I don't know. I get mine from Car Supplies Warehouse.
Okay, Brandmade asked, are cars that have been repainted with cheaper paint and material harder to correct?
Yes and no. Because sometimes cheaper material will surprise you. Like sometimes shit from Harbor Freight is like good. But then sometimes, I mean, even on a new car, like a lot of these supercars have super soft paint. Porsche has soft paint. So it kind of just depends. If the paint's hard, it's like hard to work on. BMW is hard to paint. It's hard to work on because then you feel like you're chipping away for hours. But if the paint's super soft, it's hard to work on because then you feel like if you breathe on it, you're introducing a swirl. So it really, sometimes cheaper materials can surprise you, but most of the times, yeah, cheaper materials will fight you in some way. But brand new cars with brand new paint can also fight you. So it's all relative.
Okay, MTB.Nathan31 asks, any plans to add a full exterior option?
We do a full exterior option. If you absolutely don't want your interior touch, just come in and say you don't want your interior touch. But as far as full exterior option, there's like levels to it. We have standard, signature, ceramics. It's all on the website, studio94hb.com. If you're interested in pricing, it's all on there for you guys.
Okay.
I feel like Brad's watching me and he's
He's
upset.
I
I think he's really upset that I haven't put a piece together yet because I just realized there's 3 bags labeled number 1.
That makes so much sense.
There was 3 of them labeled number 1.
Do you
And
know
then
which
now the problem is they're black and gray. So then I'm looking at this and I don't know if my red one should go on the gray one.
No, only use the colors that it says, because there will be multiple pieces that look the same, but they'll be different colors.
It's black and gray.
Corey wants to know, who is Brad? Your cousin? Your aunt?
My aunt. Oh, my aunt. Oh, my
Sorry,
aunt Corey's on
Corey.
here. Brad is my. Oh my gosh. Brad dated Jenny in high school.
So-
Jenny's sitting over there. So Brad and I became friends because Jenny and I became friends because I came from a private school. I was entering a public school, and we were in the same like health class in the summer because we were trying to get ahead of on our electives so that we could play sports. And I remember the teacher called us up and goes, "Who is in this summer class because they're an athlete?" And I wasn't on the team yet. I was just planning on joining the team. So I was like, "Oh, I'm here to play basketball." And Jenny kind of looked at me like, "You're not on the team. I'm on the team, you fucker." But anyway, we became friends. And then sophomore year, Brad dated Jenny, and then Brad kind of got introduced into our group, and then Brad and Jenny broke up, and then Brad stuck around. And now Brad is married to my other best friend, Izzy. So it all works out.
Okay, do you have to polish after using clay? And is there, Molly Engelman is asking this. Do you have to polish after using clay? And is there a way to polish without the orbital machine?
You do not have to polish after using clay. It's always recommended, but you do not. Don't trust any detailer who's like, you have to polish after you clay. You don't, because some people don't give a shit about their car that much. And also, swirls are superficial. They're extremely ugly, but you don't have to. Sometimes someone will polish their car once every 2-3 years, but they'll clay their car once every year or once every 6 months. And if you polished every time after you clay, because sometimes here in California, if you are one of the rich people and you live by the beach, the salt air, regardless if you have a garage park car or not, the salt air like eats away at your clear coat, your protection, and it makes your paint feel super gritty because there's so much sand blowing in the air. So the contaminants get stuck in there. So if here in Huntington Beach, I mean, if you live by the beach, I was working down by the beach back in 2015, and I meticulously stay on my car. And I was claying my car every 3-4 months back in 2015, which is insane because every car that I've had to this day, I've had 12 cars. As soon as I buy, I detail it, I clay it, and I keep it so well waxed, I never have to clay it again. So it's insane that this car I had to clay every 3-4 months. If I was polishing after every single time I clayed that car, there would be no clear coat left on it it'd just be completely exposed paint. So no, you do not have to polish after you clay. When you are bothered by the swirls, if there's too much oxidation, then yes, go ahead and polish. And it's doable by hand to remove oxidation, not to remove swirling. You do need the heat of the pad to kind of bring the fibers of the clear coat back together to remove that swirling. But yes, so like, yes, you can polish by hand after claying. It's not going to look good. It's at the most, it's going to look like you put wax on it, but it's really not going to do anything to the paint.
Why More Cave from your live chat asks, does ceramic coating add weight to the car, and does it protect against snow?
It does protect against snow. Weight, barely. I don't have it here. Our little ceramic coating vial, which will coat an entire car, it's this big. It's like 35 to 50 milliliters. It's got a weight of like an ounce or 2 ounces. I don't know, grams. How do you weigh that? But it's not. It's hardly going to add weight, but it will protect against snow and heat. It protects against extreme temperatures. It protects against chemical agents. So if you're driving down the road, there's a lot of dirt and shit on the road. It protects against that. It protects against the UV rays of the sun. It protects against a lot of things, just not rock chips. I can't throw anything at your car. It's not Kevlar.
Okay, Dean Panuku is asking, can you make a setup video for the detail rig?
I can. I think there is one on my TikTok as it is though. So, but I can definitely for this YouTube channel, like make a short or something for you guys.
So Alex Forbes from the live asks, if someone pays for and wants you to use a specific ceramic coating, I believe they mean like one that they bring in as a part of the package that they purchase. Is that something you guys do, or do you use just whatever you have? And they also say they love your work.
I'm gonna be totally honest. It just would depend on what you bring in, because some stuff that you bring in, I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you it's better than the stuff that I have on hand. So I don't want to short you on anything, if that makes sense. I don't want to name drop any brands. If it's an equal brand to what I have that I know is reputable, then that's fine. If it's something that I looked into and it's not a real brand, I just don't feel comfortable putting that on your car. If you absolutely like, I want this, I'm like, yeah, sure. But like, I'm going to do my best to be honest with you and try to give you the best quality.
Okay, Anal Allen asks, any advice for detailing in the rain? I live in Oregon.
Ooh. I've got friends in Oregon. Greg and his son, Joe. And they run a kind of a full-time thing, but they have a garage and they really specialize in coating. So they're able to pull the car in and work on it there. As far as like detailing, like as it's raining, you have to be indoors. But if you want some advice on that, I'm sure they'd be happy to answer you. If you look up Portland Pro Detailing, super nice guys. Hang on, let me find it. I really like them. I feel like I need to go to Portland and say hi to Joe. Portland Pro Detail. And their logo is 2 red polishers. You'll see like that. You'll see them on Instagram. But yeah, I feel like if you reach out with them, they probably have more to say on that than I do because they are based out of Portland. But yeah.
Okay, I guess we can address this now. Multiple people are asking about your either childhood trauma or your issues with your father.
I'm going to say that I have 2 sets of parents. If you hear me say my dad's a CPA, that is Mr. Bob Callahan I'm talking about. And if you hear me saying, oh, I don't really talk to the other one, that is the other one. So I feel privileged to be alive. I feel privileged that I was giving a lot of opportunities. But let me say this. If I had my own kids, I would not raise them the way that I was raised. I would raise them the way that Bob and Brenda Callahan have raised me to be.
Okay,
That's about it.
Justin Akraman is asking, marry me, question mark?
Justin?
Yeah.
A man?
He didn't get the memo.
I can't, Justin. I'm so sorry. It's mental illness in it. It won't let me.
Okay, Metals wants to know how many towels do you use on an average interior detail?
Oh, so that completely depends. I think we were doing like a standard interior. So our standard interior here at the studio, we vacuum everything, we wipe everything down. We scrub heavier duty areas, and then we condition everything. So every piece gets touched. The severity that it gets touched at it's based on what it needs. That is our standard interior. We'll probably go through 1 Scrub Ninja and 1 Nourish pad and like anywhere from 3 to 5 Costco towels. If we're doing a full interior where it's like everything gets steamed, everything gets shampooed, I would just double the towels. So maybe 10, 8 to 10 for a full interior, like a heavy duty interior. Because technically they're both fulls because everything gets touched. But the difference between our standard and our full is our full interior, we shampoo and steam everything. The standard, we just wipe and scrub everything. Different level of cleaning.
Okay, Kelly Stone wants to know if you have a bug removal recommendation.
Yes. Shine Supply. Again, I think it's called Bug Off. It's a purple chemical, Shine Supply. Pre-treat the bugs you have with it on there, and then rinse, and then pre-treat one more time, foam over it, and by the time you come back and just do your contact wash, it's going to melt right off. Or an APC. But yeah, you can find bug removal tips and stuff at Car Supplies Warehouse.
Okay, someone else wanted to know any tips on getting rid of what is it on your headlights?
Oxidation.
Oh, oxidation.
There's 2 ways to attack it if it's not too bad. This is just like the water spotting thing again. If it's not too bad, you can just come in with a polisher and compound and polish it back to life. If it is bad, you will have to sand it. There is, I believe I have a TikTok video on that as well. Oh, shit.
Okay, Carlos Cervantes is asked, he said, every time I clean truck tires, there's always a little browning left behind, even if I clean them 3 times.
You might just have a little, it's called anti-ozonants, and those are integrated into your tires to keep them from oxidizing. And it just might be the case that the tires are too old or something, but the solution is you just dress it, and over time it'll absorb the dressing, it'll re-nourish itself, and you should be good.
Okay, Yvette De Jesus from the live chat asks, if starting a waterless wash for business, what do you recommend in terms of setup and necessities? What do you recommend to get into tight crevices?
Wireless wash. Are you still on with us, Yvette? What state are you in? Is anyone saying anything?
Not yet.
It'll take a
Okay.
second.
Waterless wash business. I would not recommend it. And the reason is, this is just me looking out for you from a business standpoint, it's going to bite you in the ass. So the problem is with the waterless wash method or business is it's way more time consuming. It's not as fast as me just hosing down a car, and it's not as thorough. So you can't charge more for the hour because people are going to be upset that I'm paying for a wash, it's taking longer, and it's not as good. So I feel like that's just a bad business plan. But recommendations, have your buckets pre-set up, make sure you have a lot of lids and towels, and do your best not to cross-contaminate.
Okay, Andy McDandy wants to know, how do you stop the rubber seal from making streaks on your windows?
You gotta condition them. So the same way we condition like leather, plastics, vinyls here, you should be doing the same with your leather seals. They're kind of deteriorating and like melting off onto your windows. So make sure it's healthy and moisturized. Leather Nourish works. Any interior dresser, that works. Clean it really well, dress it regularly. You'll see that it'll kind of come back to life and it won't rub off so much. But also if that's happening, I feel like you live somewhere hot. It's a really hot state problem.
All right.
This just looks wrong.
You're probably doing it wrong.
I don't think you're doing it wrong, it just takes a really long time.
No, you're doing it wrong.
No. Okay, I'm gonna keep going.
Okay. CSJPDJ is interested in your dog food recipe. His dog would love that bowl. Thanks.
Dog food recipe. I feed my dogs a semi-whole, or not semi-whole. Yeah, semi-whole foods diet because I just don't trust myself to get them the correct vitamins. So they do get kibble because kibble has the right balance of vitamins added in and stuff. So we went with the kibble that my vet recommended. So they get half that and then the other half, the dog food recipe. It depends every week. I'm actually making a batch at the house right now. I just turn on the slow cooker. I choose a protein, whether it's chicken thighs, chicken breast, pork shoulder, whatever kind of beef cut. Honestly, whatever's on sale, because I mean, they're dogs. I'm not going to spend that much money. But then I do. How much do you spend on dogs?
Don't act like you
We
forget.
spend a
We
lot.
spend a
Yeah,
lot on
and
dogs.
dogs.
Okay, I'm not
And-
going out and buying them like ribeye
Buying
calf.
beef.
You know, it's like I go to Costco. Oh, there's a sale on boneless chuck or a tri-tip or this. Like if it's under like X amount of dollars per pound, then I'll buy it. And then we just stick it in the slow cooker. When it's after a couple hours, I pull it out, I shred it up, and then I leave the water in there because then all the hemoglobin, the blood is like now in the water. That's a lot of good nutrients. It tastes like shit probably, but it's good for my dogs. I leave it in there, and then I normally throw in some spinach, carrots, green beans, or peas, and then for they're not on a grain-free diet. They were, but now they're eating grains. So for grains, they'll eat either brown rice or quinoa, and then I'll supplement it with fish oil and flax seeds. And every now and then they get a treat. I think we made sushi for dinner the other night, so they got the ends of the sashimi sushi salmon. So I don't know, sometimes they get spoiled. Jenny's looking at me like I'm crazy because I gave them sushi grade salmon. But the sushi grade salmon was not pretty enough to go on the plate.
Not pretty enough?
Because what you want slices, and the end piece is
odd
a
end.
triangle. It looks like a triangle. I wasn't going to put it on the plate, so I did it to the dogs. Anyway.
You deserve it.
Oh, and then every now and then they get a burger on their birthday. They'll get a burger patty. I'll stack 2 in the broiler, so the top half will like crisp, and then we put candles in it, but the bottom is raw because they love raw beef. So every now and then on special days, I'll get raw salmon or like some raw chicken patty or raw turkey patty or hamburger patty as a treat.
Okay, Heather Stage from the live wants to know, what are indicators of soft paint?
You will really only know once you start polishing it. I can't look at paint and be like, oh, that looks soft. Soft paint is paint that easily swirls. I mean, I guess if you wanted to test, like, honestly, if I had a BMW and like an Acura NSX right next to each other, if I just, no pressure at all, just dragged a towel with literally 0 pressure, you might see 1 or 2 marks on the Acura and you'll see nothing on the BMW because BMW has super hard paint.
Jan the Man wants to know what your next goal is and if you have any other business ventures in your mind.
Jan the Man is that ice guy on TikTok, by the way.
Love him.
He's the guy who says, episode 2 of Can I Have That With No Ice, Please? That's him.
I'm not on that TikTok.
you need to
He's the
watch
guy
it.
that shows all the ice machines on, like, when he goes to service these ice machines and there's like mold
Oh
and
my
like,
god, I can't stand it. No, I can't.
But
No,
I would
he,
never
no,
do
he
that.
said every Starbucks has good ice.
They clean it once a week. But
But
they're the
he-
only place.
But he never gets ice anywhere else
Oh my God, I
because
cannot watch that.
he's like he's an HVAC technician, like serviceman. Wait, what was the question?
What is your next goal? Any other business ventures in your mind?
Next goals. I'm actually pretty dead set on retiring in like 10 years, so I don't know. You know how I said like my favorite form of self-care is just turning everything off and ignoring everybody and just zonking out? That is my next goal, to be able to do that full time. So we'll see. Actually, I don't think I could. I honestly don't think I could sit still. I built a bookshelf the other day in like 3 hours.
I saw that. That was actually really
It
cool.
looks
Yeah,
good, doesn't
looks
it?
Really good.
Yeah, and I got yelled at when I was building it
Well, you were probably.
because I wouldn't go to bed.
No, you were inhaling the paint thinner smell for
Was I
3 hours
forcing-
in a closed garage.
She
That's
needed
why
to
you got
feel
yelled
something.
at.
Was I forcing the smell on you?
Yes.
No, you were
It
upstairs.
still smells.
You were fine.
Okay, Ballers Club Details wants to know, what was your first detail rig?
First detail rig. Technically, it was Dean, the guy I worked with. He had a 2007 Tacoma double cab short bed. As far as my first detail rig was my 2000 Honda Civic, and then my Jeep Wrangler, and then my Nissan Xterra, and then back to a Civic for a little bit, and then maybe at that point I was serving more than I was detailing. So in that Civic, maybe 2-3 cars. But then Tacoma was the longest running one, and then the Tacoma was too small, so I upgraded to the Tundra, which I have now.
Underscore Brotato Chip wants to know what your ethnicity is and what is your favorite food from it.
I am Vietnamese, and my favorite dish is probably thịt kho with the fried egg, or maybe we had pho yesterday. You know what?
You always
it's-
say you don't.
I had it yesterday. It was okay, but you know what? I absolutely hate bun sale. Just let's just blend mung beans and make a crepe out of that. It's disgusting. That's a little bit disrespectful to my food. But you know what? I will say, if the bun sale, the base were like a rice flour base rather than like a mung bean base, I'd probably be more inclined to eat it. But yeah, probably thịt kho. I like that.
Okay, Vargas 916 wants to know best playlist for details.
Best playlist for details. You're not gonna like it, but I listen to a lot of country, so I'm super biased with that. I mean, I'll crank on George Strait or Alan Jackson. Right now, though, my fixation is Parker McCollum. I really like that guy. I don't like how he dresses; it drives me nuts. But anything for me, at least, when I get into my flow activity, I like that I like choosing songs that I already know, so like the lyrics like are comfortable, so I can just keep singing or singing along to the same thing. And if it's new music that I'm experiencing, I do like a faster BPM just to get me going because it doesn't feel comfortable to me yet. But it's all subjective. For me personally, I like country and I like John Mayer and I like Taylor Swift and I like Jonas Brothers. I love the Jonas Brothers. Except when you see has anyone seen the Jonas Brothers in concert? I felt like that was a slap in the face.
Only the last one.
45
The
minutes
first
ago.
one was fine. The second
Don't
one,
say fine, don't disrespect them like
the
that.
first one was the best concert we've ever been to. It was their comeback concert. We had a great time. The second concert, not even 2 months later,
Still good.
was the same set
Like Dr.
list.
Phil's son.
It was the same set list. I don't understand how you go on tour and you have 4 albums and you're playing the same set list and the set
Okay.
list was 45 minutes long
Better
and
than
we paid
this
100
last,
and what?
but better than this last concert, them only playing DNCE songs when I'm going to a Jonas Brothers concert, not a DNCE
I
concert.
love the Jonas Brothers. I think they're the worst live performers I've ever seen. And it's disrespectful that they're cranking out the same set list every song. You guys ever seen John Mayer in concert? So many different songs. So many different songs. It's like you have 4 albums to choose from. It's ridiculous.
Okay, we could go on about the Jonas Brothers, but Ladybugger27 wants to know what the best way to treat sunblock off trim and plastic that's very stubborn.
Ooh, sunburn is sunscreen is very stubborn. It's one of those things you got to get right away because it's super corrosive. So all leather, pleather, vegan leather, Softex, all of this stuff in the car industry today, it's the quality has gone down. It's also all painted. So if someone says like, oh, my Mazda has red leather, it's the same shit as another Mazda with black leather. It's the same base mid-level material, and then they paint it a different color. So the problem is sunscreen, especially mineral sunscreen, is super corrosive. It eats away at that paint. The leather is fine. However, the finish is being eaten away at. So you have to, if you see it, you got to get it off right away. The longer it sits, the longer the chances are you cannot repair it unless you call in a leather repair person who's basically going to paint over it. But what we use here at the studio, if it's light express interior and a Scrub Ninja or a towel gets it out super easily. If it's a little bit heavier, we'll bump up the cleaning power with like a mild APC, kind of like Citrus Power Plus.
Okay. Crystal MZZZZ wants to know, what mic do you use? The little square one you use. I've been searching for it, but I can't find it.
This is called the Rode Wireless Go 2. There's a base one plugged into this laptop that's sitting right there, and then you can have up to 2 mics. It also comes with a wind guard in this, and it's completely wireless. It'll clip onto wherever you need it to be clipped. It's from Rode, and I do have to thank Jason for getting me this. It was actually funny. I was filming a tutorial for him on the road when I was in Colorado for something. I don't know what we were there
It was
for.
for the wash bay.
No. Why were we in Colorado?
Oh, Thanksgiving.
Oh, we were in Colorado for Thanksgiving. And I sent Jason the video, and he just goes, I got a package coming your way. Your audio sucked. And then I came home to a bunch of microphones. So that was super nice of him.
Okay, from your live chat, Dean says Illy. And then also Corey, your aunt wants to know, how did you recruit your team at Studio 94?
And my aunt is nosy. Like, we don't see each
We
other
love
every
her.
week.
We
And now
love
she's
her.
asking me here.
Oh wait, just to circle back, Yvette did respond just now and said she's in California, but she's currently out in Dublin for work. So she was trying to detail while living out of a hotel.
Ah, okay, Yvette, best of luck to you trying to pull that off. Yeah, I would just say do your best not to cross contaminate. But it's really tricky to make a good profit margin on a wash that will cost you more in time and labor than a traditional wash.
Okay, and then back to Corey. She wants to know how you chose your team at Studio 94.
So the first hire we had here is Dalton. I knew of him through high school. We had like a lot of mutual followers or friends on Instagram, so I followed him back because he had his own detailing thing, and so he was kind of the first person I thought of when it was time to scale, because I was like, okay, I know of this person. He's close to home. He's mutual friends with a lot of like nice people that I like. So he was my first hire. After Dalton, we brought on Milton. He's my little superstar. I love Millie Rock. A man of very few words, but we work together really, really well. It's funny. We'll go on a job. We have our headphones in, or we're here at the studio. We have our 0 words need to be said. We just flow so easily together. And then after Millie Rock, when it came time to move into the studio, Swanky came along. I knew of Swanky for a long time because my friend Johnny hit me up for a detail like almost 10 years ago. And then I gave him a quote, and then crickets, heard nothing. And then I see Johnny posted, "Thanks for the details, Swanky." And I'm like, who's this motherfucker he hired instead of me? It turns out it's his best friend from high school. So I wasn't offended. But so I knew who Swanky was. I knew he had a detailing thing. But we never followed each other. It was just we just existed in the same space. And when TikTok took off, I saw someone comment and I recognized the face, like the Instagram logo. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to follow him back. And then so I followed him back. And then that's when we really just started talking and becoming friends. And then so he was kind of like my first choice when it came to really expanding the business. Swanky was kind of my front runner for being my right-hand man. I feel like I'm missing a piece.
I don't first.
I did say that.
Shut up.
Were you not paying attention when I talked? I said,
Corey's asking obscure questions, so no, I was not paying attention.
Corey's being very
Corey, you're not answering.
the other night at dinner, we had a family dinner for, okay, so there's like I have a big family, and so we did all October birthdays. So I think there was 5 birthdays there. We went to Capone's, and my Aunt Cora goes, "Jessica, why didn't you invite Jenny?" I go, "Jenny's grown. What do you mean? Why would I invite Jenny?" And then she goes, "I don't know, I just feel bad for her. Her dad went to jail." And I was like, "Bro, what? Jenny's doing fine."
Thanks, Corey.
Okay, Jos_A. I don't know. It says you should get into vinyl wrapping. You'd kill it.
Vinyl wrapping is something I don't think would mesh with my flow activity because vinyl wrapping is not cleaning. So yeah, I know what scratches these itches in my brain, and the reason I'm so attached to detailing is it's cleaning that makes me feel good. I feel like vinyl wrapping is just no shade to vinyl wrappers. I think it's definitely harder than what I do, but it just doesn't interest me because it doesn't feel satisfactory like I'm cleaning something. It feels like I'm taping something, if that makes sense.
Jana Bit wants to know, do you have to put a protectant on WeatherTech floor mats?
I definitely advise, I wouldn't say every time, but I would definitely advise that you do it a couple times a year. Protectants that we use, Nourish is a good one, Leather Nourish by Wax Shine. But lately, I'm telling you, I'm on a Shine Supply kick. Lately, we've been using Shine Supplies. They have this all-in-one interior cleaner and conditioner. I don't like it as an all-in-one cleaner and conditioner. I like it as a mild conditioner. So we've been using that on mats here.
Okay, and then Heather Stage from your live is asking a clarifying question about the last question. She said, but don't you have to detail before wrapping?
You do, not extensively, no. You just have to do a decontamination. So you just got to wash and clay. You don't polish, you don't do anything, you don't fix the paint. And then that honestly takes an hour. So you'd be spending an hour decontaminating the car and then like, I don't know, 8 hours wrapping it. And those 8 hours would just kill my soul. So no.
Dean, again from the live chat, wants to know if there's going to be any Studio 94 merch for the public.
I don't think so. I think we're getting shirts made for the team so they have a uniform to wear because right now they're wearing JT Mobile Detailing stuff. I do not foresee it being sold to the public, and the only reason is just everything's so expensive these days. And the last batch of T-shirts I got made cost 3 times as much as the first batch of t-shirts I made, just because shipping and supply and demand in this, like a shirt cost me like, I think it was like $5 or $6 to buy. And then when I went to get more, it was like $12 for the same shirt. And I was like, well, I'm not going to get a cheaper shirt because I like the way that it's thick and hefty. But I just can't afford to sell a $12 shirt. And then it's ridiculous. I'm not going to charge you guys $40 for a t-shirt. So no, but it just doesn't make sense for all that time and effort to do, I guess. 1, 2, 3.5. 1.
Heather, again, from your live, she said, I'd order some Studio 94 Crocs if you collaborated with them.
Oh, I fucking wish. Dude, who's got the croc plug here?
Bretman Rock.
Yeah.
He's got a croc plug?
He
Yes,
collabed
he's
with them.
sponsored by Bretman.
Or yeah.
I
He's
would
my Croc.
love
We
to
love
hear
Bretman.
from Croc
And Bretman.
and Bretman.
We love them.
We love.
We do love Bretman Rock. Who doesn't love Bretman Rock?
Okay. Let's see.
Do you see this?
See, I told you you're doing it right.
There we
You
go.
gotta trust the process.
I'm proud of you. Okay, I'm not gonna even attempt to try and sound this out, but S6R6HI wants to know the best cleaning products for their BMW red interior. They're begging.
Same as the other cars. Express Interior and an Auto Fiber Scrub Ninja, or honestly, I like Express Interior. I like the smell. Some people hate it, but I like the smell. I like the cost effectiveness of it. But if you go to Car Supplies Warehouse, they have everything by categories. Just shop interior cleaners. I can guarantee you every single one of those brands is good, because Jason's whole business mantra is tested, proven, packed. So it's tested, it's proven, and then he'll pack it up and ship it to you. Simple as that.
Okay, Details by David wants to know, what is the best way to get clientele?
Oof. That is the hardest thing in running a business. Whether you have a coffee shop, a restaurant, whatever, that is the hardest thing. And it's the advice I could give you today would not have applied 5 years ago, and it will not apply in 5 years. But what is working for me is I'm very transparent with my customers. So I'm banking on that for their referral, for their word of mouth referral. Also, social media is a big help. Flyers are a help, but that is the kind of thing about being a business owner that makes your hair fall out, is getting customers. So I wish I had a more concrete answer for you. It's just, no matter what you do, it's going to be tough. But what's worked for me is honesty and social media. So that's helped me a lot.
Okay, Lindaro Mancito wants to know, can you shampoo heated seats?
I haven't really seen heated seats with cloth, but leather seats that are heated, yeah, just not shampoo, just take a Scrub Ninja to it, maybe take a steamer, do a close guarded steaming. So you wrap the tip in a towel and you just kind of skim over it. But yeah, absolutely doable with heated seats.
Okay, Emily Ann wants to know what your go-to cocktail is.
A whiskey sour. Oh my God. Any kind of variation. So a whiskey sour with egg whites, which is technically a Boston sour. A whiskey sour with a red wine float with a New York sour. I'll get that. Any kind of flavored whiskey sour. I think I saw someone make a pumpkin whiskey sour the other day, which I made at home myself, and I think I messed up. The pumpkin syrup had no flavor whatsoever. Any kind of whiskey sour, any kind of sour style cocktail, actually. Anything with whiskey. I have a little bit of PTSD with tequila. My palate is not quite there for gin. I definitely don't like anything with Campari or vermouth. And vodka is just
Martini.
I don't know. Vodka, I feel like it just brings nothing to the table. See, Brad wants the banana old fashioned. I made banana oleo. I'm gonna bring banana old fashions. Okay. What's your go-to cocktail, Richard?
Mine?
Yeah.
Right now, anything tequila.
Mm.
It changes.
What was your go-to cocktail last Sunday night?
Last Sunday, Jameson and ginger.
Is that what you were drinking?
Ooh,
Having
that's a
one
good
too.
one.
Richard was so wasted, he didn't remember anything from that night.
Great reading, though.
It was great. We had a great
Yeah,
time.
Shout
And
out
you,
Alex.
when you
Talk
were
about that.
so photogenic, because I
Talk
feel like
about
every
that.
picture we took of you, you looked like you were having the time of your life.
Well,
I
he
love the
was.
reunion a little bit. That was fun.
I had my 10-year high school reunion last Sunday. And I was kind of nervous going into it because like we were talking to Richard and I were talking about it, and it was like, I don't know, it's like these people, like, what's your goal here? Are you trying to impress people or not? But I think I didn't have that feeling because I have the same friends from high school. It's me, Jenny, Brad, and Izzy, and Jordan. So it was just a lot of fun because I felt like it was our group getting wasted plus more people. And then Jenny's laughing over here. She's laughing about all the drama that happened. But
No drama.
no
No
drama.
drama.
No drama. It was a good time. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing. I feel like this in my 10-year reunion, we were able to catch up with people that we don't normally see. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they become a part of my everyday life or ever, I would like to see Alex Wickett more.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Let's see.
6.
Samuel Machado, it's not a question, but he said, inspired me to start my own detailing business.
Hell yeah.
And then Dean asked, if you don't have an air compressor, what is the best way to clean your polishing pad in between panels?
They make a brush. Rupes has a pad brush. Griots has a pad brush. A lot of these companies have a pad brush. My favorite is the Rupes one because it's a super flat brush and the bristles are just about a half-inch thick. Where some pad brushes have this weird angle to it, and it's supposed to be more ergonomical. It doesn't feel more ergonomical to me. I like the Rupes pad brush. It's very simple design. It fits in my mobile bag very easily. So get a brush, or I used to do this. The blow that I have, that mobile blower, I put on the fine tip and I just right on the pad. It's forced air. You do need electricity for it, but if you're using a polisher, you should probably have electricity. That means you would have electricity. So that's that. Oh, that's wrong.
Okay. Tara Williams from your live wants to know where you got the Tool Time shirt.
I don't want to say. Okay, my little sister is like into anime and stuff. My little sister's really into anime, and so this was like years ago. And so for her birthday, we used to do this for her birthday. And I think now she doesn't want anything to do with us and just wants money. But she's 15 years younger than me. So for her birthday, years ago, she was like, I want to go to Box Lunch, which is like a newer, more anime-y version than Hot Topic. And basically, I love home improvement. And when I saw this, I bought this for myself while I was waiting to kill myself in that store.
Okay. Jess Harry wants to know if you have any tips for keeping your car exterior protected in the winter months with snow and salt.
Ceramic, or if it's out of your budget or is too time consuming to apply, before the winter comes in, do a full decontamination detail, strip wash, chemical decon, clay bar treatment. This is called our standard detail. So clean the paint, and the reason you clean the paint is so that whatever sealant you put on there can adhere and bond as well as it can. So clean your paint really well, put a sealant on there. A ceramic infused sealant is better. A ceramic coating is even better, but just protect your car. That's what you need to do. This can't be right.
Okay. Scott R_24 wants to know who are some of your biggest inspirations in the industry?
That was the guy I thought was Scott Reed.
Oh.
Okay, we're gonna talk about this username really quick. There's this guy on Instagram who's been DMing me, Scott R_24. My best friend Izzy, I mentioned, Brad's wife, she dated this guy named Scott Reed in high school, and I thought it was Scott Reed from high school. So then I was messaging this guy like back and forth, like, hey, what's up, Scott? Like answering his questions, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know Scott Reed was so into detailing. So one day I texted Izzy, and I'm like, oh yeah, your little high school fling has been talking to me a lot, Scott Reed. She was like, what? And she goes, isn't he married with a kid? I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then I really don't see much on his Instagram, but I showed him like a screenshot. She goes, that's not Scott's profile picture. Like, that's not Scott Reed. But
But you
it's
made
really-
a friend.
I did make a friend. But my biggest inspiration in this industry, Larry. We all love Larry. He is definitely the guy who like reignited my passion for detailing when I had like a little bit of a lull, as far as because he's just so passionate about it. But as far as like doing the right thing, running a good business, you know, being respectful of customers and clients, it's Jonathan up in Washington and Jason out in Seattle. I think those guys are just great. Wait, what?
Jason's in Chicago.
Did I say that?
You said
Where's
Seattle.
Washington?
Yeah, Jonathan.
Washington, then you said Jason in Seattle.
Jonathan in Washington, and then Jason in Chicago. I think those guys are doing a great job. I think they're a really good example of like running an honest, successful business while being kind to people, while giving back to their community. Like Jason's always putting on events. Jason's always open to teaching. Jonathan is his business is scaled more towards my size. It's nowhere near as big as Jason's, but Jonathan is just like the most stand-up guy you could ever meet. He is so straightforward. He is so giving. I don't know, everything that Jonathan does, like I don't think he's had a misstep in his life. So great guy.
Okay, the Detail Nerd SB asked, do you offer training for up and coming mobile detail business owners? And would you ever offer training?
I would offer training. I don't think in a class setting. I don't think I do well with big groups. But if it's just one-on-one thing, we can talk about it. Like I'm not open. I'm not saying no. If I'm not saying like, oh, everyone line up. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I really enjoy cleaning. So just shoot an email to the business email on studio94hb.com, and then yeah, we can talk. I'm not opposed to it. I've never really like put too much thought into doing it as like a full-time thing.
Okay, so this question kind of ties in. Old_Bernsey from your live says, if I took my car to you and paid for a paint correction, would you teach me how to polish? I detail cars and I'm pursuing my own business. I just don't know how to polish.
I wouldn't say like pay me for the paint correction. I would say probably we should just set up a payment for the class or just for the one-on-one training. I don't know, just shoot an email through. We can talk about it. I'm definitely open to that. I do love teaching, just not as much as I love cleaning.
Kim Tran from your live wants to know, can you wax a rooftop tent?
The cover it comes in, like the little plastic or fiberglass. Yes, absolutely. If it's plastic, I would say just condition it. Plastic conditioners. If anything, Wax Shine's Leather Nourish goes on plastic, so you can even condition it with that. I would say maybe condition it if it's plastic, and then put some kind of sealant on there. A lot of spray sealants. Best bang for your buck. Turtle Wax, Seal and Shine. That's great. If it's fiberglass, definitely. You definitely need to seal it. Fiberglass, carbon, fiber needs to be protected. But it's very doable. It's super easy. It's just like doing a car. This is right. I think we have the chassis.
Okay, Simply.Suds Detailing asks, how much did it cost you to open Studio 94? If you feel comfortable.
God. Okay, I think the deposits first and last month's rent plus another month. I think I put down a check of like $40,000 to get the studio, and then on top of that, Jason at Car Supplies Warehouse did help me. He gave me like the homie hookup rate because I did such a big order, but I think I spent like 15 grand on Car Supplies Warehouse just to fully stock this place out. And then on top of that, just for setting up like payroll and, you know, insurance and this and that, it was another couple grand, which I don't have the exact numbers to. My business partner, Brandon, is actually the guy you guys email for scheduling. He's also our in-house accountant and our in-house money guy. And he's the guy who makes sure everything goes smoothly so that I can just come in and clean. But he has the exact numbers, but I'm telling you, that's like $60,000 just to get in the door. So expensive.
CJD from your live says, Must have to keep car in good standing in between details besides express interior and leather nourish.
So those are for interiors, yes. I don't think you need much more for interiors to keep your car in good standing. As far as the exterior, I would say do your hand wash it. So must have a microfiber washing mitt, a bucket with a grit guard. If you don't want to buy two, you can buy one. We do the one bucket method here where you pull out and you just don't re-dip. Also a good soap. I just had this talk with one of my clients, David, who was the first car we ever had in here. He came back for his express detail routine, touch up, whatever, his scheduled maintenance detail. And he was noticing a foam, like a film on his car. And it was because he was taking it to like the self-serve wash bays and using their foam can and their soap, which I advised because he didn't have his own pressure washer yet. Now he does because of it. But a lot of those car washes don't use a good soap. And so it's too alkaline, especially here in the West Coast. On the East Coast, I think they use more acid because you have to deal with snow and salt. But if the soap is not pH neutral, if it's too alkaline, repeated use of it, it's going to leave a haze, like a film on your car. So must have for the exterior, a microfiber wash mitt, good soap. You don't need a foam can or a pressure washer, but you do need a good pH neutral soap. And then a good drying towel. I like the Autofiber Dreadnought. And your type of little, I don't think you need like a full ceramic sealant or anything, but get a ceramic infused detail spray, get any detail spray, get a spray rest, get something to just kind of boost the protection we're putting on your car to make sure it lasts the full amount of time it's supposed to last.
Okay, and then from your live, Bradley Johnson wants to know what your favorite part about owning the shop is.
Is this our Bradley Johnson? He's still on. What is this? My favorite part about owning the shop. I don't know. I feel like I'm in the weeds right now, still trying to establish this business. I haven't really had time to sit back and enjoy certain things, but like right now, top of my head, I love that I have a spot to park my little Honda Accord.
That's it? Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's just, I feel like it's like we're just working. And then so it's like, I don't really have time to think about it.
What about your wonderful employees?
Or your keg.
Or your keg?
The keg has been empty since.
But it's cool that you
get
get to have one.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful with this. My favorite thing is that I have a spot to park my Honda, but I actually am really grateful that we don't have to be outside anymore. Like I feel really good that I can provide this business where, Dalton, who hated working in the sun, can now get out of the sun. Swanky, who hated working in the sun, can get out. And that I feel like it's a nice environment for us, the whole team here, to be able to do what we love in somewhat relative comfort. Some days it's all concrete walls here. So some days this thing's like fucking musty, like Shrek's crack. It's so hot. It's so clammy, but we're not in the sun. So, I mean, it's a relative comfort, but.
Okay, and to follow Brad, Isamo wants to know, who is your muse?
My muse, not Izzy. That's what. I don't have a muse myself. I'm a Leo.
Brad also wants to know if we can watch the Super Bowl here.
Oh, Brad. We can watch the Super Bowl if you get the projector, but we do have all white walls that we don't need a screen or anything. But yes, we can watch the Super Bowl here.
Oh, Swanky's popping in to say hello.
Swank. Why aren't you here, Swank? Too good to come in on a Sunday, huh, Swank? No, I'm kidding. He should not come in. It's his day off.
Catherine Little Botcher is wondering if it's appropriate to ask what products your detailer will be using on your car.
Yes. Oh my God. Absolutely. Yes. You should ask that. There's some times where, you should know, because there are a lot of companies out there that are not even detailers or just in the detail business because they can make a quick buck. So of course their product is kind of, so you want to weed that out for sure. I feel like I'm missing a piece. What are you giggling about over there?
Brad's putting out hard-hitting questions, asking, how do you make your banana bread old-fashioned?
Okay, so Caitlin Stewart, Likeable Cocktails on TikTok and on Instagram. She's my friend. She was like the world national bartending champion back in like what 2017, 2018. But if you guys know what an oleosaccharum is, it's typically made with lemon peels or like citrus peels, and then you can make like a clarified rum punch out of that as the base. But she's taking this whole like she has a whole series where she's doing like zero waste cocktail making. So she made a banana something, and she had the banana peels left. So she made an oleosaccharum with that. You just chop it up, you put it in sugar, and over like 2 days or something, the sugar pulls all the oils out of the banana peels. So after 2 days, you dump that in a saucepan, you add a little bit of water, and you boil it down into a simple, you strain it, and then you get this banana simple syrup, but it's not because it's got a little itty bitty skosh of fermentation in it. So the banana old fashioned is a heavy bar spoon of the banana oleo, banana bitters, and then I think rum complements bananas a lot better, which Caitlin agreed. So she did 1.5 ounces of rum and a 1/2 ounce of rye whiskey, but I did 1 ounce of rum and 1 ounce of rye whiskey because I really like rye whiskey. So I did 1-to-1 of that, and then stir, and then garnish with your Luxardo cherry. But it was so good. It was so good. Super good. I'll make them tonight, Brett.
Okay, Tara Williams said, you did a signature detail on my 2018 Honda Accord in June. With the heat, I'm not washing it as much as I thought I was going to. Do you recommend a ceramic coating next time for a mini detail in December?
Yeah, it's completely up to you, Tara, your budget. If you are super crazy about your car, if you're like me, or if you just kind of one of those people, like my friend Reed, her dad is one of those guys that like will look up and be like, oh, that's the top brand, I'm getting it. That's the most expensive thing, I'm getting it. If you're that kind of person, I'd absolutely recommend a ceramic coating. But in all honesty, you can achieve ceramic coating results. It's just going to take more frequent visits. So if I did a signature on your car in June, you should probably be in here again for a mini, and then another mini in December. Like it should be every 3 months or so if you're just getting a mini where it's basically a wash and wax. And then we'll decontaminate your car based on a need basis. The average is like maybe clay your car once a year, if so. But again, there's cases where like me, every used car I've had, with the exception of that Honda Civic that was parked by the beach, I've only ever clayed once. You just didn't need it. So we're not going to push you to clay your car if your car is still smooth. If your car is gritty, because maybe you are one of those people who lives in a really contaminated area, we would recommend claying it again. But at the very least, a wash and a wax at the very least to boost up on that protection we put on your Accord.
Okay, let's see. Sweet Suki asks, have you been in the restaurant industry or bar industry before?
I have been in the restaurant industry. I've been in the coffee industry. I was a barista for a little bit. And then after that, I moved on to the restaurant. I was a server and a shift lead kind of thing. I have never been in the bar industry. I just like trying new things. So I kind of took on cocktail making during this, since I think in August, I started getting really into cocktails. So yeah.
Okay. BRB Media wants to know what are the best lint-free towels for detailing? Why is there so much lint?
Why is there so much lint? Why are you getting lint? Microfiber towels are relatively lint-free. The only thing is you should wash them before you use them. And not all microfibers are made equal. The blends of these things are very important. And I don't really have a big lint issue. I can just buy good microfiber towels and you should be fine. And I hate to say it like to sound like a shill for Car Supplies Warehouse. I mean, I am, but I'm not. Like Jason's running a great business. Car Supplies Warehouse, all of our supplies, everything in this shop, Car Supplies Warehouse. So we've never had an issue with lint. Sorry, everything but the Costco microfiber towels, because those to me are the best interior towels. We won't use them on paint, but we like to use them on wheels and interiors. A good microfiber towel is all you need, and as long as you wash it before you use it, you will not have lint. I don't know what's going on with this. I feel like this is not right.
Okay, into details _ wants to know, what do you suggest for someone just starting?
In detailing, from a business standpoint or from a detailing standpoint, keep practicing. Do it on your mom's cars, your brother's cars, your sister's car, your girlfriend's car. You really want to get your eye honed. You really want to get your quality down and your time down before you start advertising yourself as a professional detailing service. And then as far as business wise, start with them. Do a good job in their car. Have your mom refer you to her coworker who loves talking shit, vice versa. Just, you got to build a network, and you got to practice detailing. As far as business, you got to build a network. I'm so lost on this.
Swanky is asking all the skincare queens thoughts on rose water and when does he incorporate into his regimen?
Okay, I don't use rose water, Swanky. I have a little bit of PTSD with anything rose scented because I went to a Catholic school for so long. Rose water. I feel like that's just,
It doesn't do
I don't do this. It's just flavored water. It's just
Yeah.
scented water.
Flavored water. It literally doesn't do anything.
Micellar water?
I think that's different.
That's
That's
different. I know.
for-
But would
no,
that
that's
have
for
more?
taking-
That has more benefits than rose water.
That
Rose
takes
water is
off
just
makeup.
kind of, yeah. Rose water, Swanky. What are you using rose water for? Also, don't you know someone who works at Sephora? What are you asking me for? Yeah.
B_trooper wants to know where you get your watch.
This is a Shinola, the Vinton Shinola. I like Nate blue. I have a lot of blue. I like neutrals. But when I do branch out into a color, it's typically navy blue. So I got the Vinton in navy blue. My other one is a Timex. Timexes are super affordable, you guys. Great watches. Don't expect them to hold time very well. It does skew by a lot, but it looks good. My other silver one is a Timex. And then the other one is a Casio. It was literally like a $9 Casio. That is my favorite watch to this day. I could do dishes with it when I was at the restaurant. I could detail cars with it. Soap would get on it. Foam would get on it. Tire shine would get on it. It's bulletproof. That little black rubber one you see me wearing on jobs, that is a Casio something. If it's more than $15, it's not the right Casio because I think I got that for $9.97 at Walmart back in like 2015.
Okay, Boyd M575 wants to know, how do you keep the hands nimble, aka prevent arthritis?
Bro, you tell me. My hands hurt all the time. My brother has lupus, which is like hand in hand with rheumatoid arthritis. My mom has a bunch of shit going on. I don't know if this is related. My dad has gout, but I don't know if he's just, I don't know, he's weird. I don't know how to keep the hands nimble. My knuckles, particularly on my right hand, sometimes the tip of this one goes numb a lot. Maybe that has to do with carpal tunnel, but my thumb is always kind of throbbing, and then these two fingers right here, they're always kind of, there's like a tingle to them. And then I noticed as the years have gone on my right hand, my dominant hand, my knuckles are starting to swell and they're getting like mineral deposits in them. And it's looking pretty rough, but I don't know. I wish I just kind of deal with it. I figure when I stop, it would just kind of reverse itself because I'm built different, but I don't know. We'll see.
Stephanie _ wants to know, or said that she saw your TikTok about the Shark vacuum. Which model is your favorite and why?
Ooh, so I have one Shark. It's the very first one they made, the purple. It's a Shark Navigator. And then my mom has the Lift Away. I think Jordan's mom has the same Lift Away. I'm a little attached to my Shark Navigator because of the way that it dumps dirt and stuff is better. But like, I don't know too much about Shark. All I know is I've had the one and it's lasted me 12 years. So never going back. But I have the Lift Away. They don't make that anymore. Or no, I have the Navigator. They don't make that anymore. I think right now they're on the Shark Lift Away. And I think they also have, the Shark has the Dual Clean where it's like,
I think so.
like specifically for pet
Yeah.
hair and mopping, because the brush is like a big microfiber sponge. If you want to know about sharks, my friend Allison out in Colorado, I think she's in the Arvada area. She is more of a shark girly than I am. I thought I loved shark. She loves shark. That's a good person. Allison's Cleaning. That's what her handle is.
Okay, Samuel Machado from your live says, now that you have a shop, have you considered using a van for mobile detail days instead of you continuing to use the Tundi?
No, the Tundi all day long. I'm telling you. The shop did not change my vanity. I refuse to be seen in a van. It's just, I don't, maybe it's like, it might be the California in me. It might be the Leo in me. I refuse to be in a van. It's just so, like I feel like my truck is,
I like vans, so other people might like them. Okay.
I don't like vans. I'm the one doing mobiles. I don't want a van. We have a van. It's sitting in the courtyard. Doesn't get moved because I don't want to drive that. So we have a Chevy something. What is it? A Chevy.
It's not an Astro, it's just the work van.
We have like a 2005 Chevy work van that my business partner kind of, it's sitting here. If the business needs it, the business will use it. But we have a Chevy van here. I just don't want to drive a van. Can't do it. My mental illness said no, thank you.
Daru the Ford 24 said, are there any shines that dust doesn't automatically stick to?
Tire shines?
Tire shines.
Tire shines. Yes. And I'll tell you the trick with tire shine. It's not actually in whatever tire shine you buy. A water-based tire shine is always a little more dust repelling or dust resistant than an oil-based one, a silicone-based one. But the trick is you got to knock it down. You got to knock down the tire shine. So you apply it, you knock it down, you make sure it's matte. A shiny tire shine that's going to repel dust, non-existent. You got to go for a satin finish if you want to repel dust.
Okay.
Richard's coming in like
Who wants to meet Richard?
Nope.
Richard. Richard. Charlie Chart.
Nope.
Richard.
Nope.
Okay, Arvind _Vinode wants to know, please, where did you get the Elizabeth Holmes Girl Boss
I
mug?
forgot to bring it. We got it on Etsy. My girlfriend was okay. Before this whole thing happened, I think when the whole Theranos thing was not so mainstream, Colleen is her name. My girlfriend's really so nosy. So when she heard about this, she has like ADHD, so she hyperfixates on things. So when she heard about the Elizabeth Theranos thing, she went deep dive, and I was like, "Who is this?" She goes, "You haven't heard about the Silicon Valley lady?" And then, like 3 years later, there's a whole TV show about her. But we got that mug on Etsy years ago, before the Hulu show, before Amanda Seyfried came in and just served coins as Elizabeth Theranos. That was so good. That was Amanda Seyfried's best performance ever, I think. But Etsy's got a lot of stuff.
Lily _shopper 18 asks, who is your girlfriend and how long have you been together?
Her name is Colleen. She's sitting right here. This is backwards, I think. Colleen's Colleen. Her name is Colleen. We met in London. That was a good trip. A abroad trip. Yeah, we went on the London Eye together. And it's funny, we went on the London Eye together and we looked back at pictures and I had no idea who she was until the last week we got there. We were there on a month-long trip and we had so many pictures together because we did group activities with the whole school. And then when we got back, it's like, oh, you were there? You were in the London Eye? It's like, huh. Anyway.
And now the live chat is asking for a guest appearance from Colleen. They want to see her.
Haha.
Is he?
No.
No, the fans are saying
They're asking for you, Jenny. They're asking for Jenny.
There's a Michael Estrada Jr.
Oh, he sounds mean, and I don't want to listen to his question.
Oh, you got Michael Estrada, you guys, is Swanky, just so you know. He has a real name. I feel like everyone.
I didn't know. I honestly didn't think he had a real name.
You just thought he was.
I literally thought it was Swanky.
I didn't know until 6 months in. I was like, who's this Michael you're texting? She's like, oh, that's funny. Like, oh, okay. Okay, Anthony 2 Vasquez says, I want to know about your Ruka friend you have. I love me some Ruka.
Oh, that's my friend Reed. My best friend Reed. What an angel. She works for Board Writers and she's which is a parent company to Ruka and Quicksilver and Roxy and Billabong and whatever. But once a year they have a friends and family sale, so she passes along the friends and family discounts. So once a year I drop a couple hundy at Ruka because all of my work shorts are Ruka shorts. And I got this hat this last time. I got my new favorite hat from Ruka.
Old Burnsy
Do we
from your
see
live.
this?
Work in progress.
Do we see Bradley Johnson? Are you watching this? Here, sorry.
Old Burnsy again wants to say that you should do a video on how you match brown clothes. I like the fit. 10 out of 10. Show them your fit.
Here's the
Do a
fit.
little turn around.
This is the
Say
fit.
shirt from anime store.
Okay.
Pants from.
These are Converse Chuck 70s. They're not all stars. Chuck 70s are built different. I've got the Aritzia socks. All my ladies know about the Aritzia socks. These used to be the Dickies 67 Slim. But what happened is Tilly's bought the cut. So now you can't buy 67 Slims anymore. Tilly's bought the proprietary whatever. And so now the label inside says Dickies by Tilly's, which I hate. But the Dickies 67 Slim is equivalent to, what are these calling the Tilly's? They're not the 874s. I can't fit
No, no,
874s. The Dickies 874s, original or flex even, my ass and my thighs don't fit into. So these are technically Dickies 67 Slims. I've got my Tool Time shirt and then my Ruka hat. But when it comes to dressing with browns, what I found that works really, really well together with brown is black and cream work well. And I have tried a monochromatic brown fit. I did a brown pant with like a light brown overshirt, and I don't think I do monochromatic very well, but I tried that. That's a fit. What am I looking at here? Okay, this goes.
Okay.
Tricky. Okay.
Scrupulous_fine_auto_detailing says, how often are your 4-leg boys with you at the shop?
Oh my God, never. They have behavioral issues. They have such behavioral issues. They're absolute angels at home. They're absolute angels once you get to know them. Like, I think Reed was the first one that Leo really took to. So now he doesn't bark at Reed. He's still trying to take to Jenny, but Jenny's not a dog person. I think he feels it. He didn't bite you.
He
That
bit
never
me.
happened.
We're done talking about the bite. Leo
He
didn't bite
likes
her.
me now. He licks
Jenny
me.
came into my house unannounced in
No,
a dark
you told
hoodie.
me.
I said, wait in the car.
I was
I'll
wearing
be-
my
I
nose.
said-
You said, come in. The door is open. I wore my pink.
I said,
Shawn
I'll be.
Mendes
I
hoodie.
said, I'll be right. No, you were in a black hoodie
No,
and
I
black
wasn't. I
leggings.
remember.
And
Trust me.
none of
I
the lights
was
were on in
pulling
my
jacket.
house. Jenny walked in because she was thirsty,
She's
and I had the
lying.
good water. So she walked in her hoodie, all black, and then Leo was scared because I was home alone. But Leo's a great dog, but they don't join me at work. They have a lot of behavioral issues. Jack does not get along with other dogs. Jack does not get along with certain men. Not all men. He likes a lot of men, but some men just trigger him for some reason. Leo doesn't get along with any person, but loves all dogs. But we already have a shop dog here. We don't need my dogs to come. Milo is the best boy in the whole world, and we love having him here every day. Super nice.
Monda says, what can you do about streaky windows or like scratching?
Scratching windows, good luck. They do make glass polishing pads, and I will say it just never really fully works. So this is why I personally chose to ceramic coat my windshield so that I don't have to use my windshield wipers so often, because what happens when you use your windshield wipers is it's scratching in dirt, sand, whatever. It's scratching it into your glass and making those permanent scratches or streaks. So my advice, prevention for that, don't use your windshield wipers so much. Protect your windshield, wax it, seal it, ceramic coat it, whatever you want so that the water just rolls right off. But as far as like streaky windshields from like just cleaning, I use water. I don't use glass cleaner. We actually don't have a single drop of glass cleaner in this place. We just have water, and if it's really dirty, we'll use IPA, but we do not use water. I mean, window cleaner.
Okay, J Tibbs 88 is wondering what the best way to get rid of adhesive on interior plastic is because it's from cargo liners Velcro strips.
Try Koch Chemi Ulex. The only thing is just make sure you have some kind of like cleaner on hand to like neutralize it. But do a test spot to see if it will work on plastic. I've done it before on plastic. It's not a big deal. It's an adhesive remover. If you don't have Ulex by Koch Chemi, try Gugon. I wouldn't use that on the interior though, because that's like super oily and like weirdly oil based. That's like my last resort. I'm missing a piece.
I don't think you are.
I am. I opened every single bag numbered 1, and I'm missing this flat white yellow piece. Because this doesn't have knobs on it.
What's the bag to your right on the floor?
2, 2, 2, 3, 3,
What's the one on the table that you didn't open?
3.
Oh, are you sure that's 3?
Can you read?
Now you mixed them up.
Jenny.
Is that my fault?
God.
Okay, what would you be doing if not detailing? Building Legos?
Okay. If somebody told me like you could never fail, like if you could have the dream job that you wanted, didn't matter, like I could guarantee you success, I would be a screenwriter.
You'd be good at that.
I would be a screenwriter,
Yeah.
but Hollywood's scary. And it's so inconsistent, and it's like it's not something you can reliably build a life on. So, but if you told me 0% chance that you would fail, like you could guarantee, I would be a screenwriter. I'm missing a piece. I swear, I'm missing a piece.
That's tough. Is that what you tell your clients? That's tough.
sucks. Jody McBrayer official is wondering if you would ever fly somewhere to detail. You're amazing.
I would not unless it were to collab with another detailer, and they don't let you fly with your polisher. I'm not going to fly with a bunch of chemicals either. I wouldn't be allowed. So, yeah, unless it were for fun. Like, I mean, I flew out to meet Jason in Chicago. We did 2 cars together, but that was kind of just for fun. I wasn't paid for that. So, but as far as like logistics of flying out somewhere for a paid job, it's too hard. It's too hard. I don't have any of my things. It's just, wouldn't work.
Lauren, I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher your name, Ornelas wants to know if you would ever go live on TikTok.
I have with Eric, and when I did the Gretty event, the Gretty Honda Civic, I went live for that. I don't know about TikTok. People are like mean on TikTok. Oh,
I told you.
I have it. It was upside down. Okay. There it is.
Samuel Machado is asking another question. He says, why do you dislike the Aries crowd so much?
My dad. The bad one. The good one is an Aquarius, I think.
Like an Aries.
The horoscope, Jenny.
I didn't know it was some car detailing thing.
I actually don't dislike Aries so much. I
No
think
one ever talks about Aries.
nobody.
That's
Lizzie's an Aries, and she's great.
Lizzie.
Corrier. She's engaged. Adam proposed.
Really? Wow.
She's getting married. Yeah. I don't dislike Aries. I do beef with Aquarius a lot.
Is there anyone who's an Aquarius in our group?
Yes.
Who?
Me.
You're an Aquarius?
Mhm.
What, Richard?
You're an Aquarius?
Mhm.
You are not like any Aquarius. There's two Aquariuses that I've actively crossed paths with, and I'm just like, I can't stand you right now. Wait, Jesse.
Oh, you got along with
No.
Aries. Oh my
No,
God.
not Aries, Aquarius.
Oh.
Jesse's great. You're great.
Oh,
But there's 2 other Aquariuses that I'm constantly having like headbutts with.
It's hit or miss.
It's hit or miss.
Everybody's.
It's not a real science anyway, so you know what? It is what it is. I forgot. Jesse's an Aquarius. She's great.
Oh. Jay Suarez 2150 wants to know best towels to buff ceramic coatings.
Ooh, we love so the auto fiber quadrant. It's kind of gimmicky because they have like numbers in it, so you can the way you turn it, it'll say side 1, side 2, side 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's kind of gimmicky with the numbers, but it's honestly a really good weave. So we like the auto fiber quadrant towel, available at Car Supplies Warehouse. Also at Car Supplies Warehouse from the Rag Company, it's the Pearl. It comes in 2 colors, orange or gray. It's the same thing. We love that one for buffing off ceramics. Yeah. What time is it?
Okay.
10:46.
Oh, we gotta get ready for
Sorry,
Drew's thing.
Lauren, I didn't know that was you. That's Lauren.
That's our Lauren.
Yeah.
Oh, Lauren.
She says Millie's and Aries.
Millie's an Aries? No, he's so stoic and like Millie Rock gives me what was Cynthia? Capricorn vibes.
And Corey says Aquariuses are weird. I can't stand them.
Her husband's a Scorpio. Corey's a Leo. My aunt Corey's a Leo. Her husband is a Scorpio, and so is her daughter. And her son is July Cancer? July 10th?
No, I think that goes into what's after Cancer.
Gemini?
I think it goes into Gemini.
Scott's a good Gemini, though.
But Samuel said, when you match cars with zodiac signs, you went hard on Aries, so I just had to ask.
I think I went hard on who. I try to go hard on Aquarius because I really don't like him.
So,
I love you, Richard. and I
keep
love
saying
Jesse.
all
I
these
just said.
Aquariuses.
You like Aquarius.
Yeah.
You just.
You know who's an Aquarius?
I do. I.
Stop. Stop.
Mama's.
Oh.
That was my first like.
I don't think that has to do with their zodiac.
No.
I think that has to do with
Okay.
Okay, do we have time for more questions or are we wrapping it up?
You know what? Okay, we're going till let's go till 11 because we have to get ready for Drew's thing.
Okay, sounds good.
It's pizza night at
So-
Drew's house.
Yes, we're
right.
all looking forward to
This
it.
is the time to ask hard-hitting questions,
Yeah.
live chat.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right.
Fusakli wants to know, how do you polish over chipped paint?
You can. You just gotta be careful. So play with the paint. If the chip is not stable, don't touch it. Tape it, but don't flat up like tape it. Take a piece of tape and fold it in on itself so it's not sticky, and then tape that around it if that makes sense. Because if you put an adhesive on it, when you rip it up, you might peel up the chip paint part. Yes.
Okay, here's a hard-hitting question from Bradley Johnson. He wants to know, do you like pineapple on pizza?
Yes. Yes. I would consider myself adventurous on food, and I think that's one of those flavor combinations that people are just so like, ugh, as if. But you know what? I feel like if this were like common in another country, you'd be afraid to offend and you would eat it and you'd like it. Just give it a shot.
Okay, Anthony Vasquez from your chat, he wants to know about the Ruka details because he needs some new Yager shorts.
Okay, I'm curvy, and so I have to wear the Yager stretches, but I know the Yager 4s, which is a 17-inch inseam, that works well for a lot of guys. If you're a curvier man or if you have bigger quads, my friend Drew plays soccer and he's got these massive quads, so he likes the Yager stretch like me. But if you're a little bit on the slimmer side, the Yager 4s are great. If you want some more movement, the Yager stretch, they're both a 17-inch inseam. They're both great. Can't recommend it enough. I own 12 pairs of Yager stretches, and that's all I wear to work. Great short. I'm missing a piece again.
Brittany Weaver is asking in all caps, how do you like the Midnight's album?
6.5 out of 10. 6.5. I don't know. It feels like she set the base of like, this is a new era. There's like conversations with myself, blah, blah, whatever. But it's like, I don't know. I saw a theory that the album had companion tracks. And so that's why it sounds very reminiscent of her old stuff. But to me, I think that's reaching because she's clearly said it's a new era. So new era should sound like new music. You know what was a good new era? Folklore and Evermore. That sounded very Taylor, very new. Even Reputation. sounded very new, but still had very, elements of Taylor. This Midnight thing, I hear these songs and it feels like I've already heard them, and it just wasn't exciting for me. So agree to disagree.
Seven Rankenstein wants to know how to properly maintain cars in 115-degree weather.
That question is for my boys in Las Vegas, Platinum Auto Detailing. It's a little P or on a white background. It kind of breaks off. I'll tag them in my Instagram story shortly after this. They are based out of Vegas. Two boys, very sweet. I think they're one's in college and one's in high school, and they're up and coming, but they're doing great work. And that is really a question for them. They came to visit, and I had to ask them, how do you work in this heat? And so they've got all the tips and tricks. I personally have never worked in weather hotter than like 101, so I'm not the person to ask for that. I'm not going to try to make something up that I'm not aware of. So I will redirect you guys to the right people, and I'll tag Platinum Auto Detailing in my story later today.
Okay. S Casually 17 wants to know how to decide if you need the signature or basic detail or ceramic coat level 1.
All personal preference, babes. So if you're really invested in your car, then I would say go for it. Go for the ceramic coating. If you want to just make sure it lasts you, go for a standard. If you want to make sure it lasts you and has a great shine to it and a lot of the swirling is removed, go for the signature. But that is all up to you. If you come in for an appointment, this is typically what happens. You come in for an appointment, we have a conversation about your goals for the car, and I do my best to advise you within your budget, within your goals to achieve the desired product. But that's a super subjective question.
Okay, Samuel Machado from the chat. He says, hard water spots on glass. I trialed Steel Wool 4-aught, a microfiber cutting pad, and even the chemical guys vomit emoji, mineral spot cleaner. What could I have done?
Microfiber cutting pad with compound. Try that. If that doesn't work, then your glass, if that's not working, if you put your glass under a microscope, I bet you it looks like this and it's all cut and wiggly. And so you just got to replace your glass or live with it. But yeah, glass is super hard. It's just not worth paying a professional glass person to polish it all the way down. So, oh my God, I feel like I'm making so much progress now, and I feel like I'm in the zone.
Best microfiber towels to dry off a car is that the Dreadnought.
Auto Fiber, Jenny.
Literally,
Jenny.
I used that for the first time, and I was shook.
It's incredible.
That is the one thing I hate washing my car and having to dry it because I fuck it up with a regular beach towel. Okay, because I don't have anything else. But then the first time I used the Dreadnought, literally for my entire car, I used that one thing.
Yes.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I
Auto
loved
Fiber
it so
Dreadnought.
much. Yeah.
Magic.
Okay, I answered that question for you.
Thank you for answering that question for me.
Okay, Trevor Torres wants to know what is the best way to care for a car with PPF? Pre-owned black paint with noticeable wear spots.
PPF. You should ask the previous owner or find out somehow how old that PPF is. If it's more than like 7 years, it might be just a PPF failure issue. But PPF is the easiest to maintain. So you don't need to do much with PPF. If you see swirls on PPF, most of the time heat will fix it. But I think PPF is super easy to maintain. That's the whole point of PPF on black cars is the best thing I can recommend. It's just so expensive, but.
Okay, Els Lugo said, I need help with being able to quickly pitch other services other than just my basic package. Did you always have confidence with selling your services? How can I get that if I suck at conversations?
That is. I will say I'm going to attribute a lot of my success in my own personal detailing ventures to when did I start with? To 14 years in customer service. If you can't talk to people, it's a problem in detailing because we're selling a service. If you can't talk to people, then maybe it's your best bet to work under someone who has an established business, because talking to people, talking to customers, guiding them, being able to have conversations, that is 50% of the job. You could be the best detailer in the world. If you don't know how to sell your service or even just carry on a conversation to make a customer feel comfortable, you're screwed. So I wish I had more advice. I actually don't know how to get better at that. Maybe taking a public speaking class would help. But for me, what helped was I kind of just got thrown into it. I've only ever worked service jobs. So I think if you count up the hours of time that I've spent talking to clients and customers, whether I was serving or tutoring or making someone a cup of coffee, I think I've spent more face time with the public than I have with my own family, as far as like words exchanged. Like the amount of talking I do with customers is insane. It just takes time and practice.
Okay, Brittany_Escamilla is wondering, or she says, I feel like you listen to Midland. I need your favorite songs.
I do listen to Midland because I think Texas country is better than any other country. So George Strait is from Texas. Mark McCollum is from Texas. Midland is from Texas. Favorite Midland song at the moment is Bury Me in Blue Jeans and I'll Take Her Off Your Hands, that one. I think country has like a gay undertone, so I'll Take Her Off Your Hands feels like a gay woman's love ballad to a straight woman. What's another? Drinking Problem is a classic. I just learned how to play that on the guitar. Drinking Problem is a classic. And I just don't like John Party, so I'm not really digging the new song they did with John Party, Long Neck, Way to Go. But I love Midland. You guessed right.
Sebastiana asks, hi, what brand is your coffee cup? The one that still had ice from morning to night.
That is the Fellow Carter mug. Fellow is a brand that is very well known in the coffee industry. I have a Fellow Stag mug and a Fellow Ode grinder, and it's the Fellow Carter mug. So can't recommend that enough.
Okay. This is like an open-ended question, but Maya Fresh is asking if you have any more life hacks to share with the class.
I think the only thing that's coming to mind is onions.
Yeah.
Don't get Colleen started.
I think what really is like super important that people should learn when it comes to cooking, especially cutting onions, is you have to cut with the grain. If you're gonna do caramelized onions, cut with the grain, don't cut against the grain. So you got your onion here. The rings are going like this, so you're looking at the open-ended grain. Do not cut it this way. Cut it this way. And I'll talk about it later. But yeah, I don't know why. Just cut your onion with the grain. That's a life hack. People should cut onions with the grain. It drives me nuts when I see TikTok cookers cutting against the grain. That's how I know you're gonna have a bad dish.
Okay.
I feel like that's
10:59. Do you have anything else you'd like to say to wrap it up?
Now I feel like on the spot. I don't know. This was a lot of fun. We should do it again. I don't know. I have super bad vision and I have astigmatism, so I actually can't see what's going on the screen. But whoever is here, thank you for chiming in. Thank you for being here. Richard, thank you for setting this up. And we should definitely do this again. I had a lot of fun.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. You're
I'm
welcome.
not going to thank you two.
You begged me to be
I
here.
didn't. You begged to be here. You begged to be here.
Like you always
You were literally
begged
so
for
far
my
behind. You were
friendship.
begging me to be
Begged
here.
for my
You're like,
friendship.
please, can I come hang out with you at work? Jenny was unemployed for forever. And now I wish she would still.
You wish I were still unemployed so I could hang out with you, loser.
You're a loser.
Okay, all right, it's 11.
See you. I feel like I did this wrong now.